The town that cancels Halloween and the night it didn't work. They never called it a ban. Every October, flyers would appear around town. White paper, bold black ink, no logo, just a message printed in all caps. Out of respect for previous incidents, trick-or-treating will not be observed this year. Previous incidents, that was all it ever said. No official ordinance, no mayoral decree. Just those words, posted on telephone poles, school entrances, the grocery store window. And every year, like clockwork, the town obeyed. No pumpkins on porches, no cobweb decorations, no orange lights. The town of Derridge Hollow had, in effect, cancelled Halloween for over 30 years. People whispered theories that a child had been taken during trick-or-treating, that some cult used the date to perform something, that it was about respecting the dead, whatever that meant. But no one ever said it directly. And if you asked an adult who grew up there, their voice would drop. Their eyes would shift away, like they were trying to remember something they didn't want to. I moved to Derridge Hollow when I was 12. That year was different. The flyers went up like they always did. October 1st, sharp. But something changed. No one removed the flyers, but people began to test the boundary. It started small. A teacher at school brought a bowl of candy and left it on her desk. A kid wore a black hoodie with a pumpkin patch on it. Someone hung a single fake bat above their door. Subtle things, harmless if you didn't know the context. But I didn't know the context. That's the thing. I was new. I didn't understand what they were hinting at when they warned, "We don't celebrate Halloween here, not anymore." I thought it was just some sad tradition they'd outgrown, something rural towns did to feel safe, and because no one had ever given me a real answer, I assumed it was just urban legend. Until October 31st, the night everything changed. We didn't call it a party. It was just supposed to be a get-together. A few kids from school, people who'd had enough of the silence. We met at Logan's place, out near the tree line. His family owned a farmhouse that hadn't been used in years, the kind of place you forget is still standing. We brought candy, flashlights, some dollar store decorations. Someone even downloaded a spooky playlist. At exactly 8:01 p.m., we lit a jack-o'-lantern. That was our mistake. I wish I could tell you the horror started with something obvious. A scream in the woods, a shadow in the doorway. But it didn't. It started with something small. Logan's phone glitched. It wouldn't stop vibrating, even when turned off. Lena said she smelled ash. Not smoke. Ash. Like something that had already burned, the front door closed by itself. That's what we thought anyway. But when we checked the hinges, there was no wind, and the lock had been flipped from the inside. Then we heard the voice. I swear this part is true. It came from the old fireplace. A voice underneath the brick, whispering, "You lit the light. You broke the line." We thought it was a joke, that someone had set up speakers. We ripped open the bricks with crowbars and flashlights. Nothing, just ash, still warm. That was when Logan's nose started to bleed. Not drip, bleed, pouring. No cause, no trauma. Lena passed out 30 seconds later, and then, and this is what still messes with me, her phone rang. The screen was off, the battery was dead, and yet it played a ringtone. Mine, my exact ringtone, from my phone. But mine hadn't rung. The voice came again, same tone, from beneath the brick. The cost is time, and the hour is open. That was when we tried to leave. But the doors were all locked, not stuck, locked, and the windows nailed shut from the outside, which made no sense because no one was outside. The rest is harder to tell, not because I don't remember, but because too much overlaps. Some of us made it out, some of us didn't. And the story the town gave to the press that it was a drug-induced teen prank gone wrong was a lie, a cover-up. They even issued a new flyer the next day. For the safety of our community, all non-official October 31st observances are prohibited moving forward. That flyer had an official seal this time, but they were too late, because now everyone knows, and more importantly, something else knows too. This year, the town cancelled Halloween again. Of course it did, but someone, I don't know who, placed a pumpkin on the steps of the courthouse. No one claimed it, no cameras caught it, but the inside was full of ash. There's something wrong with the photo, not because it's blurry, dark, it's not. It's high-res, taken on a new iPhone, time-stamped 07:16 a.m., November 1st. You can zoom in, see individual fibers in the hay bale it sits on. But the problem isn't clarity, it's the shadow. The pumpkin on the courthouse steps casts no shadow. I saw the picture first on my mum's phone. She's a clerk at the town hall. That morning, she was shaking so hard she spilled her coffee before unlocking the building. She showed it to me because she needed someone, anyone, to confirm what she was seeing. I told her it must have been edited, but even then my stomach twisted. That pumpkin was carved, not with a smile, with a sigil. A swirling line down the front, intersected by runes that I later learned were Latin. Very old Latin. We didn't know that yet. All we knew was that it hadn't been there the night before. The steps had been swept and secured by a sheriff deputy. There was no footage of someone placing it. No tracks, no fingerprints. Just that thing sitting silently in the morning frost, casting no shadow, with an open top full of ash. They removed it by noon, but not before people started whispering. One teacher at the middle school said her daughter had a nightmare that night. A voice telling her, "You opened it. Now breathe it in." Another kid at the high school, someone who was at Logan's party last year, fainted in the hallway. Nosebleed. No warning, just collapsed, same as Lena did. And the worst part? My phone started vibrating again, same as it did that night. 3 short pulses, a pause, then one long buzz, like code. No caller ID, no number, just vibration. I checked online. It's not any standard emergency code or SOS signal, but it matches exactly what Logan's phone did the moment we lit the jack-o'-lantern. I didn't want to think about it, but the town was already spiraling. The local pastor, Reverend Madsen, held a last-minute meeting at the community center. He called it a prayer assembly, but it was more like a crisis briefing. People were scared, and not the kind of fear you can explain, more like a memory trying to surface. One man, Mr. Halpin, a Vietnam vet who never spoke much, stood up and said, "I remember when the first pumpkin appeared, 1973. That's when we lost the twins. They called it a runaway, but I heard what the dogs found in the woods. Nothing human leaves marks like that." Everyone went silent. Someone else said their cousin remembered screams through the cornfields in the 80s. Another recalled an old recording that was once played on a pirate radio station, something that made your ears ring for days, they said. Reverend Madsen tried to calm things down. He called it mass hysteria, repressed trauma, but he was sweating through his shirt. And he ended the meeting early, very early. Later that night I found something worse. I was cleaning out the garage and came across a box of Halloween stuff from our old house before we moved to Derridge Hollow. Inside was a plastic pumpkin pail, the kind kids use for candy. Harmless, except the bottom had been scratched. I didn't remember doing it. My mom didn't either. But there it was. 31-10-23, open line. Same words the fireplace voice had whispered last year, same date. This year. I hadn't seen that box in over a year. I didn't tell my mom, I didn't sleep. At 3:11 a.m., exactly 1 year and 11 minutes after the first incident, I got a voicemail, unknown number, garbled audio. But when I ran it through a cleaner app, one word stood out, a name, Dromalth. I looked it up. No results. Not in English, not in Latin, not in anything. At least not at first. But the next morning, when I searched again, something new popped up. A PDF, no title, no metadata, just 3 pages. The text was broken, ancient, and on the second page, underlined in red, I saw Dromalth, the one who feeds on the breath of belief, the line keeper, the one who unlocks through fear. To summon is to forget, to remember is to open. I don't know who uploaded that file. It was gone an hour later, but I saved a screenshot. I'll share it, if it hasn't disappeared already. And that's when I knew. The town didn't cancel Halloween because of one bad thing. It was because something shows up when we believe, and someone or something wants us to believe again. It wasn't just the file that vanished, it was everything around it. I'm not being dramatic. I'm not talking about my search history clearing or a corrupted download. I'm saying that within 6 minutes of me saving that screenshot of the document mentioning Dromalth, my phone restarted by itself. And when it powered back on, the image was gone. No trash folder, no deleted items. No thumbnail preview, gone. Except something stayed. I had posted the screenshot just as a test to a private Discord server I shared with Logan and Lena. It was locked, invite only. Nobody else knew the link. And yet, the post deleted itself before they saw it. I got the notification, timestamp confirmed I sent it. But on their end, message failed to load. I still have the push notification. That's all that's left. That night I stayed up searching for backups, cloud, metadata, anything. And eventually I found something in the EXEF data of an unrelated photo, a picture I took months ago of a sunset. Except the metadata had changed. Under comment, it now said, line open breath feed. No app on earth does that. By morning, 4 things had changed around the house. First, our landline rang for the first time in over a year. We don't use it. Haven't since switching to cell phones. It's not even plugged into a provider anymore, just the power. But at 4:04 a.m., it rang once, then went dead. Second, all the mirrors in the house were fogged. No reason, no steam. They were just fogged from the inside. Wiping them didn't work. It smeared like it wasn't condensation, like something oily. Third, Lena showed up at our door. She hadn't been to my house in months. She was pale. Her eyes looked sunken like she hadn't slept in days. She held out her phone. It was a voice memo. I didn't record this, she said, but it's under my name. It was 5 minutes of white noise, but at 2:11 in, there was a voice, low, rhythmic whispering, to breathe it is to open it. To open it is to forget. Fourth, there was a jack-o'-lantern on our porch. We don't own one, didn't carve one. My mom hates Halloween now. She hasn't bought decorations since last year. This one was small, basic, but the eyes weren't cut, they were melted. And the mouth had no teeth, just a line carved straight across with what looked like 3 tally marks on either side. 6 total. I don't know why I counted them, but I did. And then I remembered. There were 6 of us at that farmhouse last year. Logan, Lena, me, Sean, Becky, and Theo. I hadn't spoken to the other 3 in months. After the party, everything fell apart. Theo moved. Becky transferred schools. Sean got homeschooled. But now the tally marks were there, like someone was keeping score. I texted Logan. Did you see it? He didn't reply right away, but when he did, it wasn't a text. It was a video. 30 seconds. It showed his basement, completely dark, except for a flickering light bulb. He walked slowly toward the washing machine, where a strange hum was coming from. And then, as the camera adjusted, we saw it. A face in the dryer window, not pressed against it, inside it. Not reflected, inside. And behind the static on the screen, a voice whispered, 5 breathe, 1 remembers, reset required. The video ended. No context, no message, just silence. I tried calling, no answer. I called again. This time, a voice picked up, but it wasn't Logan. "The line is open," it said. "Reset pending." Click! I haven't heard from him since. Later that day, I checked the school directory. Logan was marked transferred. Effective today, no forwarding info, no goodbye. I showed my mom. She didn't say anything at first, just looked at me, really looked at me, and then said, "You need to stop talking about this. Right now, you're going to ruin everything we rebuilt." Rebuilt? She didn't explain. She went upstairs and shut the door. Locked it. I could hear her crying. I checked Lena's phone again. The voice memo? Gone. But in its place was a voicemail she hadn't listened to. We played it on speaker. 3 words. "One must forget." We checked the time it was left. 3:11 a.m. Same time I got the first message. Same time everything always starts. We went back to the screenshot, tried to recreate the search. No luck. Then Lena had an idea. What if we searched the Wayback Machine? See if the PDF had been crawled. It hadn't. But a different page came up. A cached version of an old forum from 2009. Obscure horror ARG stuff. But in one post, a user had uploaded a drawing. It was crude, but familiar. A pumpkin, melting eyes, tally marks. Below it, one word. Dromalth. I'd done the caption, "If you see this, you've been counted." The user who posted the drawing, the one with the pumpkin, tally marks, and Dromalth, was deleted. Not banned. Deleted. The forum flagged it as user removed by self-request. But every other user from that thread still had activity logs, except this one. Their entire post history was blank. But the drawing was cached, which meant one thing: someone tried to erase it and didn't move fast enough. Lena downloaded it to her phone. That was the second mistake. The first was lighting the jack-o'-lantern last year. The second was bringing the image back into Derridge Hollow, because the moment she saved it, her screen flickered. Not the way old phones glitch, more like a blink. Like the screen had closed its eyes for a second, and when it opened again, her wallpaper had changed. It wasn't a file she'd selected. It was a photograph, a hallway, yellowed walls, peeling paint. At the far end, a door, half open. In the darkness behind it, 2 faint orange glows. Not lights, eyes. And at the bottom, in a blurry white font, the words, 5, breathe. She dropped the phone. We watched, stunned, as the screen dimmed, then turned black. But the screen wasn't off. It was still emitting a faint glow. And if you tilted it just right, you could still see the hallway, like it was burned into the LCD. I took a photo with my own phone. It didn't show up. Only the faintest outline of her hand holding the device. We were sitting in my room, no lights, curtains drawn, trying to decide what to do when my laptop, which had been closed, booted itself up. No startup chime. Just the fan kicking in and the screen flickering on. An application opened by itself. Not Chrome, not Word. Something called Line X. I've never installed anything by that name. I searched it later. No such file exists in any normal directory, not on any OS. The window was black, centered in it. A timer. You'd drove 5:41. It was counting down. We didn't wait. I forced the laptop shut, ripped out the power cord and shoved it under my bed. Lena started crying. That's when we heard it. From outside the house, from every direction at once. A low mechanical whine, like a looped cassette, slightly slowed down. Building, scratching at the edge of our hearing. I grabbed my phone and recorded a voice memo. Just 30 seconds. When I played it back, it was blank, no whine. But at second 22, there was something else. A voice, same tone as the fireplace whisper last year. One remembers, that is enough. The cost begins. The power cut out. Total silence. And then, vibration. From both our phones, in perfect sync. 3 short pulses, 1 long. Lena whispered, "They're counting down again." We stayed in that room until morning. The power came back. The screen on her phone returned to normal. except for one detail. The date at the top had changed. It now said November 31st. There is no November 31st. The calendar app wouldn't open. Every time she tapped it, the screen flickered. When we checked again later, it said, "Today, 0 days left." Nothing else. That day, I tried calling Theo. He picked up, but he wasn't the same. His voice was hollow, like he was reading from a script. "I don't remember. I'm doing better now. I forget every day." I asked him about the farmhouse, about the pumpkin, about the sigil. Silence. Then he whispered, "Don't bring the others back. That's what it wants, to complete the breath." Click. I called Becky. Her number was disconnected. I emailed Sean. The message bounced back. One by one, the rest of them were disappearing, not just physically, digitally. Their names were vanishing from school files. Photos from social media were going missing. Even old yearbooks had blank spaces where their faces should have been. We were being edited. Lena had a theory. What if breathing is remembering, and remembering brings it closer? She pulled out the pumpkin pail again, the one with the scratched words. 311023, open line. She held it up to the light. Inside, something glinted. It was ash, just like the one on the courthouse steps, but mixed into it was a small piece of bone, not wood, not plastic, bone. And scratched into it, almost too small to see, were 6 notches. Same tally system. We were being marked, not by who we are, but by what we remembered. 1 remembers, 5 breathe. I finally understood the message. Every time we remember, every time we share, it feeds. The photo was from 2 Halloweens ago, the last normal one before the town shut it all down. It was taken outside the elementary school during a fall fair. Bright afternoon light, kids in costumes, parents holding hot cider. Nothing scary about it. It had been uploaded to the school's public Facebook page, where it had sat untouched since 2021, until yesterday. I don't know what made Lena check. She said something felt off, like a pull behind the eyes, a feeling that a memory had shifted. She was right, because there, in the far left corner of the image, was someone who had never been there before. Not just unfamiliar, impossible. A figure in a dark cloak, hood up, standing in front of the red fence near the playground. No face. No costume, no shadow, and no one had ever mentioned him. Not in the comments, not in the original upload, not in memory. We cross-checked it with the original post using the Wayback Machine. In every previous version of the cached image, the figure wasn't there. The edit wasn't technical. It wasn't a Photoshop error or an AI artifact. The metadata was identical. Same resolution, same timestamp, no re-uploads. He was just there now. I downloaded it, zoomed in. The figure's hand, barely visible from the folds of the cloak, held a plastic pumpkin pail, identical to mine, same scratch along the rim. But that wasn't the worst part. On the pumpkin was a label, barely readable. It said, "Remember me." That's when the lights in the room dimmed, not turned off, dimmed, like the power dipped for a second. The fan slowed. My laptop's screen dropped brightness to 0 for a breath, then came back. Lena's phone lit up without prompt, a notification, but not from any app. It simply said, "You remembered. He is now in the photo." We stared at it, then her screen went black. In that moment, something changed in the air. Heavy, dense, like the air itself had thickened, like we were underwater. And then my phone buzzed. Unknown number, I let it ring. On the 3rd buzz, the screen flashed, just once, and the call stopped. A new photo appeared in my gallery. Not one I took. It was my living room, taken from a low angle, as if someone had crawled in and snapped it from beneath the couch. In the photo, Lena and I were clearly visible, standing near the desk, but behind us, in the hallway, the cloaked figure. Closer now. No longer just a blur in the background. His outline was sharper. The hood revealed part of a jaw, waxy skin, thin lips, stitched shut. The caption read, "To remember." I threw the phone across the room. We ran. Not outside. We didn't dare go past the door. We went to the attic. Only one way in, one way out. A small space, but it felt safer. Lena was shaking. He's in the pictures now. He's feeding on the memory itself. Every time we confirm he's real, he grows clearer. I asked the question that had been burning in me since last year. What happens when all 6 remember? She didn't answer. Instead, she opened her journal. She'd kept one since the farmhouse incident, even though she didn't remember most of it, or so she claimed. She turned to the back. The last page was blank. Then, as we watched, writing began to appear, like ink seeping up from the paper. 3, remember, the line strengthens, entry imminent. Lena gasped. No, it can't be 3. I didn't get it. She held up her phone. The screen flashed again. A calendar notification this time. It said, memory scheduled, Becky, 04:44 a.m. She checked the time, 4:42. We sat there in silence. 2 minutes later, the attic light flickered. My phone buzzed again. Another photo. This time, 5 kids around a bonfire, the farmhouse clearing. And standing behind them, half visible in the shadows, the cloaked figure, arms raised. At the bottom of the photo, 4 remember, 2 remain. But it wasn't just text anymore. This time, it was audio. The file auto-played. We didn't press anything. It was the sound of breathing, slow, heavy, syncopated, like someone wearing an oxygen mask. Then, a faint voice. When the 6th breathes, the gate opens. You are inside the breath now. There is no exit. And then, our attic door opened. We hadn't moved. No wind, just the slow creak of wood. We turned toward the stairwell and saw a jack-o'-lantern at the top of the steps. Its mouth wasn't carved. It was sewn shut. And as we watched, the stitches pulled tighter. The jack-o'-lantern at the top of the attic stairs didn't flicker. It pulsed, like something alive, like a breath held in and slowly exhaled. The stitches across its mouth tightened every few seconds, then loosened again, as if sinking to a heartbeat neither of us could hear. We didn't move, we barely breathed. But Lena, she whispered something I'll never forget. It found the 5th. At that exact moment, my phone lit up. A new notification. Audio file received. No app name, no contact. Just a file labeled Record 05 M4A. It began playing before I touched the screen. The sound was low, like it was coming from under layers of fabric. Static, not random, but rhythmic. Then, voices, plural, layered over each other. Whispers tangled into moans, moans bent into syllables. Some were in English, others weren't. Some weren't even human. At the 43-second mark, a word stood out. Dromalth. And then, you opened the 5th. She remembers now. 1 remains. Lena backed against the far wall. No, not Becky. Becky wouldn't. But she stopped. Because on her phone, the one with the corrupted calendar, a message appeared. Becky replied to your story. She didn't have a story posted. She hadn't used social media in days. The reply was a single word: breathe. Then the screen dimmed and all her icons vanished. Just a black background, and in the center, a spinning circle, like a loading screen. Under it, memory sinking. We both heard it at the same time, footsteps on the roof, slow, deliberate, like pacing, right above us. It didn't make sense. The attic was the top floor. There was no roof access, no way up without a ladder. And then came the knock, not on the attic door, from inside the walls. 3 knocks, slow, hollow. Lena clutched her journal, flipping back through the pages. Ink was appearing again, like it had been written in invisible marker, only now revealing itself. 5 complete. Dromalth rises through the line. Entry soon. The attic floor groaned. The jack-o'-lantern began leaking. It wasn't wax, it was black water, thick, tar-like, steaming where it touched wood. It sizzled, then evaporated, leaving behind a burned spiral pattern on the floorboards, the exact same sigil from last year, the one we saw in the farmhouse, the one carved into the pumpkin at the courthouse. I crawled toward it, slow, terrified. Inside the spiral was a tooth, small, human, still bleeding. Lena's phone chimed one last time. New message from Becky. Attached, an audio clip, no text. She played it. It was the same voice from Record Wi-Fi, but now clearer. No static. It said, 6 must breathe, then we feed. That was it. The attic light exploded, a pop so loud it knocked dust from the rafters. The room plunged into darkness. And then we saw it. In the glow of my phone screen, reflected faintly in the cracked mirror at the edge of the attic. Another figure, not the cloaked one. This one wore our faces, both of us, standing side by side, mouths stitched, eyes leaking black, holding a candle between them. And in the mirror, a caption appeared. Not in the room, just in the reflection. We remember, so you don't have to, but now you do. We turned. The attic was empty, but my phone had recorded something, automatically as if triggered by motion. The file was titled Final 06 M4A. We didn't play it, not then, but I uploaded it to a private folder. Password protected, air-gapped, with a simple note. This audio did not exist until it played. If it disappears, you've been counted. And tonight, that folder is empty. The file's gone. But a new one appeared. Same folder, same name, with today's date. I haven't opened it yet, because I think I know what it says. We thought it was over. Not resolved, but paused. The jack-o'-lantern at the attic steps vanished by morning. Lena's phone returned to normal, though the calendar still refused to load. The November 31st date was gone, but the ghost of it lingered in cached files, screenshots that couldn't be deleted. For 2 days, nothing happened. No new messages, no whispers in the static, no sigils on the floors. Then the mail arrived. Inside our mailbox, a photograph. No envelope, no stamp, just the photo. Glossy finish. It was a picture of our group taken that night at the farmhouse. Logan, Lena, Becky, Theo, Sean, and me. 6 of us. Except in this photo, there were 7. A figure stood behind us. Not cloaked this time, wearing one of our faces, but distorted, jaw unhinged, stitches across the brow, fingers blurred like they were moving too fast, and on its chest, the same spiral sigil, but this time burned into the skin. We checked the metadata. Date created, October 31st, 2023, 8 p.m. Exactly when we lit the jack-o'-lantern, but the camera used, unknown. File origin, null. GPS location, Derridge Hollow, cemetery. There's no cemetery listed on the town's public records. We checked maps, old town archives, even church blueprints. Nothing, until we found it. In a scan of an unpublished city zoning document from 1972, we discovered it. Parcel 33B, discontinued burial site, access revoked. No roads led to it, but it was there, in the woods behind the farmhouse. That same night I had a dream, not a nightmare, a memory, one I never lived. I was standing in the cemetery, fog up to my knees, and from the tree line, 6 jack-o'-lanterns lit in sequence. Each one pulsed when it flared up, and with each, a name was whispered. Logan, Lena, Becky, Theo, Sean, and then nothing. The last pumpkin stayed dark. I woke up choking. I checked my phone. A new file had appeared. IMG 07 PNG. I opened it. It was a photo of me, sleeping, taken from outside the bedroom window, and there, behind me in the reflection of the glass, the 7th figure, standing at the edge of the room, holding a candle in each hand. One lit, one dark. The caption under the image: "The last doesn't know, and that is how it breathes." Lena called seconds later. Her voice was thin, static-wrapped. "It's you." I said nothing. "You're the last. You never remembered, not fully. You forgot the scream, the fire, the thing inside the walls. That's why it's not done." I told her that couldn't be true. I was the one collecting evidence, uploading backups, tracing the line. "Exactly," she said. "You're feeding it. You're the archivist." That's when it all clicked. Why the town kept cancelling Halloween without explanation. Why there were no police reports. Why the records wiped themselves. Because remembering is the ritual. And documenting it, saving the files, building the timeline, is the offering. I wasn't surviving. I was preserving, and that's what Dromalth needs. One must stay behind, one must remain conscious, one must remember for the others. It's not about possession or curses or blood. It's preservation through breath. The act of remembering becomes the invocation, the ritual, the breath. And so I stopped writing, but not for long, because tonight I got a message from a contact I don't know. No name, no profile picture, just a file, a zipped folder. Inside, Final Audio J6, M4A, IMG07 Reflection PNG, TXT, You Are the Last TXT, Video, Memory, Reset Required. Move. I'm not going to open them all because I know what they are. I'm uploading them now, encrypted, buried. If you're watching this, if this story reached you, that means the files escaped containment. And that means something far worse. You remembered. Even if you think you didn't. Even if this felt like just another horror story on the internet. Because Dromalth doesn't need belief. It just needs breath. I checked my phone. Even with the battery out, the screen lit up. Syncing, one of one, you are the one. And then it played. Final Audio J6, M4A. I didn't open it. I didn't tap anything. The speaker just clicked on by itself, like an intercom had been triggered from somewhere else. It began with that breath, the same one from the earlier files. But this time it matched mine. Same inhale, same exhale, mirrored. Then a voice layered over it. Mine. I'm telling the story now. I'm sealing the breath. And now it has yours. I didn't sleep. Every light stayed on. Every mirror was covered. My phone stayed face down on the desk. Airplane mode on. Battery removed. I wrapped the pumpkin pail in cloth and shoved it under the crawl space. None of it mattered. Because at 3:11 a.m., again, the reset began. It doesn't start with sound or sight. It starts with absence. The air gets thick. Time slows. Your memory stutters. I walked to the sink and forgot why. This is how it ends. This is how it begins. My voice, not recorded, live. From the hallway, I grabbed my flashlight and stepped toward the sound, heart pounding like footsteps. At the end of the hallway, the attic door was wide open, and in the corner, a mirror. I don't have a mirror there, but one was propped against the wall. In the reflection, me, standing still. But I wasn't holding the flashlight. I was holding the pumpkin pail, the one from the crawl space. And behind me in the mirror, all 6 of them, Logan, Lena, Becky, Theo, Sean, and the 7th, the archivist. Their mouths were stitched, their eyes were wide, and I was speaking. I stepped back. The image didn't. It leaned forward. That's when the candle appeared, on the floor, lit. No source, just a single wax stub burning blue. Then a sound, the kind that roots into your body, like remembering your own funeral. A chant, not sung, not whispered. Exhaled, reset, complete. Memory synced. You are the last breath, you are the vessel. I don't remember walking away, I just remember waking up in my bed. Daylight. No audio file, no mirror. No candle, but my computer was on. A document open, titled Memory Reset Log, Cycle 1, Complete. And on it, the following text: Subject remembered, archive complete, cycle rebegins, prepare for broadcast. At the bottom, October 31st approaches. Pumpkin delivered. 6 breathe, 1 records. Then the final line, next vessel queued, viewer 01. This is where I stop writing. This is where the breath passes on, because this is your part now. If you're reading this, listening to this, hearing the breath echo between your ears, you've already been counted. You are viewer 01. You are the next vessel. The pumpkin will arrive soon. It always does. And when it does, don't light it. Whatever you do, don't light the pumpkin. But if you do, leave your initials in the comments before it resets again.